all seemed perfectly at peace in the barley mow. Only the sound of the distant church bells striking 11:45 disturbed the silence as the pub awaited its next customer. In short, there was nothing to tell of the murder that was about to shake the little village of Biddle Rhyne. Julia watched from behind the bar as the door opened and a gust of autumn wind blew in, followed shortly by the Major. The man made a noise reminiscent of a horse whinnying to emphasize how cold it was outside, before taking off his overcoat and hanging it on one of the spare hooks by the door. The Major was a tall man, and had to stoop slightly to get under the low oak beams as he crossed the parlour to the bar. He'd made the journey so many times that the bob and weave of it was second nature to him, and if needed to, he could do it with his eyes shut, or, as was more often the case, when too inebriated to properly see. He reached the bar and put his hands solidly on the countertop, before quickly withdrawing them as his fingertips landed in a wide puddle of cider that Julia had produced when pouring the previous order. He wiped them lightly on the front of his trousers. Julia felt the man's eyes skim over her, taking in her dark features and slight frame, which looked even slighter in the fitted black shirt that the pub provided for her. "You're not the usual girl," the Major remarked, in his low, gravelly voice. "You're right. I'm not," Julia replied. She forced herself to put on her best customer service smile. It came with some difficulty. The shift had barely begun, and already her feet were killing her. "Sally's off on her holiday, so I've been covering her shifts this week." I see." The Major removed his flat cap, revealing his bald dome, and placed the hat on the bar, taking care to avoid the pool of cider. "Well, a pint of best bitter then, please." Julia dutifully pulled the drink. Well, the retired Major obviously didn't recognise her, but she knew him well enough to know that he preferred the old man style of glass, with the dimples and the handle. The Major handed the exact cash over the bar. Contactless obviously hadn't quite caught up to the man yet, despite him only being in his 60s, and took a long swig of the drink. When he moved the glass away, there was a thick tide-line of foam left on his salt and pepper broomstick moustache. He smacked his lips together in satisfaction. "Cheers, Sally," he said automatically, as he turned away and headed towards his customary table next to the log fire, where his broadsheet newspaper already lay waiting for him. The door opened again, and a grey tide of pensioners swept in. Julia had known they were coming. The Abbotsmead care home had booked the whole dining room out for Sunday lunch.